Good evening, Glads Nation. Welcome into the latest edition of the Coaches Show presented by Lippes Mathias. I'm Guy Carenza, and tonight I am joined by Gladiators Head Coach Ginn and Assistant Coach Zach Vinnell. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to have you, and season's getting close. I know you guys have been working very hard to prepare for the new season. You actually had some really great experiences over the last couple of weeks. We'll start with the first one. You guys were at the NHL Prospects tournament in Tampa Bay, also there for the Nashville Predators rookie camp. So tell me about that experience and how that kind of helped you in preparation for your own season.
Yeah, it was great. I think anytime you're able to go to those events, you learn a lot, and it's nice to build those relationships. I think the staff and the management in Nashville and the ownership and everybody involved in the team is great. They do a good job bringing us in. We were in on all the meetings, both the coaching meetings, the roster building stuff, and you get to build a relationship with them, which I think is hugely important for us going forward and the organization and on a personal level as well. So only had great things to say about our experience there, and obviously you get to watch some high-end hockey too and see some prospects and some other guys that we may see here in a Glads jersey as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But Zach, for you, this is your first time being in the ECHL as a coach, being a part of that pipeline with the Predators and the Admirals. What was that experience like for you, just getting to know everybody within the organization, within that pipeline?
Yeah, it was huge. It's I feel like we're very fortunate in that regard, and for me especially, just to kind of get acclimated with our affiliates and the staff there and the organizations. It's definitely huge. And this be my first time, obviously learning a lot still, and being able to pick the brains of NHL guys, AHL guys. It's invaluable. So it was great.
Yeah, and Matt, you mentioned looking at some guys that you might see later on in the year. With an experience like that, did you have any particular eye on any guys where, if you're looking at it from your perspective, are you watching certain guys with the intent of knowing that you might see them on your own roster later on this year? Or are you just kind of looking at it as a whole?
Yes and no, just more so looking at it as a whole, getting to know the players, the prospects, guys who have been there, the new faces. But yeah, I don't really go in like trying to pick guys out. Obviously, everybody wants to make the Preds, and then everybody wants to make the Admirals, and but that's just the life of minor hockey or minor league hockey is. There is player movement. Guys might get sent down, get called up. So I want to have a little bit of a relationship with those guys if that happens, and talking with the staffs like what certain guys need to work on and to maintain or create kind of that established playing career in the higher leagues. But we want to help develop whoever gets sent down to us. We know that everybody wants to play at the highest level. So, but I think the Preds do a good job of bringing in high character people as well as players that it's part of the journey now. It's very rare where guys go right out of college or juniors to the NHL, and it's kind of that next stepping stone to establish yourself in professional hockey, and we want to help them with that.
And the Predators are an organization, a team that have a great history with goaltending. And the last time we spoke, you did mention that the two goalies that we will get to start the season will come from that pipeline from Nashville and Milwaukee. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what you thought about all the goalies that you saw throughout the course of your time with the Predators over the last couple of weeks.
I thought everybody looked great. It's can't be fun trying to score at the NHL level now. It's why goals are so hard to come by, because goalies are so good, and whoever we do get sent down, I know we'll be fortunate to have. And like I said, a lot of great people there as well too, away from the ice. So we'll be fortunate to have whoever lands in our lap.
You guys have been keeping yourselves busy. You've been doing a lot of traveling. First, you went to Tampa Bay, then you found your way to Nashville for the Predators training camp, the start of that. Zach, tell me about that experience from your perspective. Just following the Preds around from the prospect side to the rookie side and then to actual training camp.
Yeah, it was awesome. In Tampa for rookie camp, the Milwaukee guys kind of took the reins there, and then as the Nashville staff was kind of getting prepped for their camp, that was a week later. So in Nashville, we kind of got a taste of Nashville staff and management and being involved there, and it was awesome just being able to sit in and be a fly on the wall for those meetings and kind of be in the war room while they, chat about all situations, and then kind of see how they prep and organize everything. And you go into the player meetings, seeing how they, what their focuses are for that day of training camp and how they kind of organize that side of things. So, kind of being involved and, taking bits and pieces and, just kind of soaking it in and getting to really, connect with and make relationships with these guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I guess over the last few weeks, what do you think were your biggest takeaway from being in Tampa Bay, Nashville? What was the biggest takeaway from all that, and what can you apply to your own training camp coming up soon?
I think just the preparation that they put into it. Obviously, in the ECHL, you kind of wear different hats too, and look after the housing and all that stuff too. But just how prepared they are with both on ice, off ice stuff, and little system stuff. I think there's always tweaks no matter what level you're at. But hockey's hockey. You want the puck, you want to score a goal, and keep it out of your net. But just different systematic things they have took some of that away. And just again, like, bottom line is just how good of people they were, how welcoming. Like, we didn't feel like some of those experiences, you're kind of in awe a little bit, and we didn't feel that. They did a great job taking us in and really making us feel a part of it.
Yeah, I heard you guys actually got behind the bench there in Tampa Bay. What was that like for you? And was there a little bit of that, oh my gosh, like, I'm here, like, prospects tournament, or was it just lock in and just learn as much as you can?
Yeah, I just kind of took it all in. Seeing again how it's a little bit different in a rookie tournament, how benches are run and whatnot compared to the season, but just how the Milwaukee staff interacted with the players, whether that's coaching stuff, whether that's encouragement, all that, keeping the bench morale up. Just kind of experiencing different techniques for that, I think was awesome.
And shifting gears here, our own training camp is coming up very soon. So I'll ask you, what has been the biggest preparation that you've had to do ahead of training camp? What does that look like from a coaching side, a logistical side, just getting all that ready and put together as the players arrive here next week?
Yeah, from a coaching system or coaching side, we both have our tasks that we're looking for or taking care of. And I think just being prepared when guys get in, instilling that confidence and togetherness where we have our stuff in order and it's business as usual here. We talked about, or you brought up what we look for, like with prospects and players that may get sent down. Like, the way we went about it this year is built our team as if we were getting nobody, because obviously injuries happen and you don't want to rely on guys getting sent down. So a big thing for us was building a team that we think can compete without any contract guys. And obviously when they get sent down, we'll welcome them with arms and have to make tough decisions. But you'd rather have too many good players than not enough. And I talked last time I was on about how we wanted to have a competitive training camp, and that just feeds into that as well. So from a coaching standpoint, we're looking forward to the players getting in and being able to kind of focus on hockey. And from a logistical standpoint, the apartments are all set up and ready to go. Again, we want to leave a good first impression when players get here, that everything's in order, and give them a couple days there will be open ice and get to know their teammates and stuff. And then when camp opens on Saturday, to ready to hit the ice running.
Yeah, and going on more of the hockey side there, speaking of systems and developing those systems in the offseason, Zach, what has that been like for you, kind of coming into the Gladiators and learning and speaking with Matt about what you guys want to do and employ on the ice this season?
Yeah, it's obviously there's some growing pains just with the fact that we're working together for the first time this year. So, it's good because you get to, learn a different perspective and kind of see how Matt likes to run things. And in that standpoint, he's kind of got his ducks in a row, and he's very organized there, which is easy on my end. So he kind of, established what he likes. And for me, that's just another opportunity to learn. And honestly, there hasn't been too much on that side of things. And we just kind of build off of each other, and we go back and forth, and I give my opinion on things, and he's very open to that, which has been great, and I think is important for a coaching staff. And as of now, I mean, we're pretty much set and ready to go, so it's been pretty smooth sailing on that side of things, and yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go for this upcoming season. It's about time, right? We've only got a couple of weeks until the season opens on October 18th. Make sure you get your single game tickets. They are on sale. Go to atlantagladiators.com. Pick your date, pick your night. There's something in store for everybody. We've got the full promo schedule out on our website as well. So make sure you take a look at that and get your date and your ticket secured before they are all gone. And if you're looking at a few of those dates, you might be interested in a season ticket package. We've got full season 18-game, 12-game, and 7-game packages. Call 770-497-5100 for more information. So we're pretty much wrapped up with most of the ECHL player signing announcements. We've got a lot of guys on the roster right now that we can talk about. From what we have on the ECHL side, what do you feel like this group's biggest strength is?
I think we have a lot of guys who can play different roles. We talk about it all the time that there's so many changes personnel-wise, guys going up, down, injuries, all that stuff. So I think it's important to have guys that are versatile, and I think we have that covered. I think we have a team that can win in a variety of different ways, and bottom line, that's going to be hard to play against. When I was on last time, I think last year, for the majority of the year, we were just inconsistent in that identity. We want to be a team that plays hard, plays the right way, sticks up for each other, and every night is a battle. We're not going to give away losses or wins, and it's just a team that's going to compete and really hopefully make some noise this year.
And Zach, I guess for you, you speak about that consistency. How do you and Matt work together to kind of preach and harp that consistency and keep the team accountable and consistent throughout the course of the season?
That's a good question. No, but I just think you can't let anything slip. You set the standard early and you run with that throughout the season. You give guys the opportunity to, still play, and you don't lay the hammer. You need them to play free, but with that, there's, the parameters, and there's a certain way we want to play, and you set that early, and from there, it's up to us to, continuously harp on that and make sure that, we don't have any loose ends.
And Matt, the last time we spoke, I can't remember before or after the Wi-Fi went out, you did talk about wanting to be a team that's very tough to play against, night in and night out, win or lose. How do you feel like the roster that we've constructed on the ECHL side reflects that identity that you want to play with?
Yeah, I think a lot of it goes back to the character, the players that we're bringing in. I said it before, we have a lot of guys who have worn letters in the past that have been leaders. I don't think you have too many of those. No matter who you are as a coach, players get sick of your voice as the year goes on, and the teams that have sustained success are ones that have good leadership and kind of is controlled in the dressing room. So I think we did a good job bringing in good people, a lot of new faces that looking forward to meet as well, and building relationships with those players and as people as well. So I think we addressed that, both the physicality side, we're a little bit bigger up front, and the speed as well. So everybody always wants to get bigger, stronger, faster, but I think we did that, and hopefully everybody likes their team before the puck drops. And but Zach and I are both confident that we have a great group of guys and players, and yeah, we're excited to get started.
I'm excited for it too. I'm happy to have you here. Actually, this is the first time that we have brought you on the show. Thank you for joining me. You've been in Atlanta for a little while now. What has been your favorite thing about being here so far?
Definitely the weather. I think it's going to be a nice change of pace. I obviously grew up in Alberta, and then I was in the UK the past 2 years. So I've dealt with some, brutal weather. So that's been nice. Obviously it's a little humid right now. But I think it'll be a good temp once, the seasons start changing. But no, it's been great so far. Getting settled in, pretty much settled at this point. So it's been nice.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned being in the UK, playing in the UK. That's something that you both have in common. Was that something that came up in the hiring process of him? How did you guys know each other before? Did you know each other before? And what's that been like for you two to kind of be here together and build that chemistry as a coaching staff?
No, I didn't know Zach beforehand. I coached against him, actually. He was still playing my last year over in Manchester, and then last year, just newly leaving that league, I still follow along closely. And Coventry, where Zach was last year, was a team that was kind of in the same situation as we were in Manchester the year before, picked to finish near the bottom, or last, and they had a really good year. So I talked with all the kind of guys I know over there, the coaches and the management. And when Zach reached out, and no, I think it was a great fit. They had a lot of good things to say about him, and the team they in Coventry kind of overachieving. So a lot of good things. And I wanted to bring in a younger guy too that was hungry, wants to move up, and it's been refreshing to share ideas and throw things back and forth. And I think it's gone great so far.
Yeah, and you coached over in England as well. What was your biggest takeaway from your time coaching there?
I think just the experience in general. I was kind of fortunate to be in a situation where you're thrown into the fire as an assistant. I don't necessarily think you get that all the time in North America. And to be able to stay, in the pro ranks was obviously a little cherry on top. So no, I was fortunate to just kind of be involved in all situations, ran the PK, had a good head coach there, Kevin Moore, who, kept me involved in all the 5-on-5 power play stuff as well. And then there it's a little different. You kind of, I guess, a little similar to here, but to more of an extreme. You have to handle a lot of the extracurriculars when it comes to the business side and hockey upside. So, I kind of got to dip my toe in everything, and it was awesome in that standpoint. And then, just continued to learn last year, or for the first time learning this side of things, and take what I like, what I don't like with me now into this opportunity. And but yeah, it was overall really good for me.
For those of you who are just joining us, I am joined by the Gladiators coaching staff, head coach Matt Ginn, assistant coach Zach Vinnell. Before we get into the fan questions here from the live chat, I do want to mention the hats from the pre-order, they're in. So I don't know if you guys want to take a look at these. We've got some really awesome hats here. I actually bought that one and this one, this red one here. These are the old colors, Stadium Arena. This one's for you, SBQR, Glad's Army. I think these are some fantastic hats. I'm going to put the link in the chat. These will be available for opening night should you choose to order them here. So take a look at that. Make sure.
It's like the old school
selection. Yeah, it's the old school selection there. Yeah, make sure you take a good look at this. Again, if you order this through this link, it will be available for opening night. So make sure you check that out. We've got a collection of really nice hats. These aren't just the only three, so there's plenty to choose from, plenty of styles. That one's a flex hat. These are snapbacks. We've got a corduroy hat. Again, there is something really for everybody. So make sure you check that out. Click that link. And without further ado, let's get into the fan questions here for our coaching staff. If you have not dropped a question in the chat already, make sure you do that right now, and we'll get to it here in the second portion of the show. See a lot of good longtime supporters. Stadium Arena, you're a big Ottawa Senators guy. You guys are both from Canada, so favorite former Ottawa Senators player from the past, favorite player in general?
I think I answered this question.
You answered this one before, so I think
this.
we'll leave this one to you.
Yeah, I'd have to say Danny Healy.
That's a common answer. Yeah. And I guess growing up, what got you into hockey? What made you first want to become a player and then later on a coach?
I don't really know what kind of got me into it. I think I kind of just gravitated towards it as a youngster. And then, just growing up, stuck with it. Played a ton of sports growing up, but it was always the one I kind of fell back onto. And then just kind of moving up, fortunate to play college hockey, stuck with it. From there, played pro, but then some injury troubles came along. So, I thought I would try and get into the coaching realm, and fortunately enough, landed a job last year, and that's kind of how I ended up here now.
Well, I'm happy it's working out, and seems like a good business move so far. So
thanks.
Really happy for that. And any goalies signed to the team? So for those of you who have not seen the last episode that we did, just you and I, Matt, the first edition of the Coaches Show, you did touch on the goalie situation. Do you again give an update on that here now for those of you who may not have seen that episode?
Yeah, so we should be getting 2 goalies from Nashville and Milwaukee that are under contract, American League or NHL. Obviously things change, so we've got 2 goalies as well coming to camp. I'm sure that'll be released here in the next few days, so I don't want to spoil the surprise, but both of those goalies coming to camp could definitely play at this level. The one has experience in the ECHL, and the other one's a first-year pro out of Division I hockey. So we wanted to cover ourselves. Like I said, injuries happen, call-ups, underperformance, whatever it may be. We wanted to make sure that whoever we put in between the pipes, we have confidence in, and the players have confidence in, and I think we've done that.
That's exciting stuff. Looking forward to it. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow our social media channels and make sure you've got AtlantaGladiators.com in your favorites bar for that information when it does come out. What will be the style of offensive play for this team? So you mentioned playing that kind of tough to play against mentality. Would you consider this team more of an offensive team, defensive team? Which way does it swing in your opinion?
I think time will tell. I'm a big stickler on you're not going to outscore teams 7-6, especially in this division consistently on a nightly basis. So you have to keep the puck out of your net. Obviously, we want to have the puck. That's the best way to not get scored on. So we're going to be a team that takes pride in the defensive side of the game, and that opens up offensive opportunities too. On the offensive side, like I said, goalies are so good now. Teams are pretty structured that you have to get those dirty goals, getting to the net, winning battles, supporting pucks in the offensive zone all over the ice. But really, like, you can't be a perimeter team. It's rare to just beat a goalie clean with an outside shot. So got to get guys that pay the price to get to the net, and might be just funneling pucks there with traffic, just really winning more battles than the other team. Same kind of general principles as the defensive zone and the neutral zone as well. So that's kind of part of it. Zach, if you want to add on.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think today's game, teams often too much look into the system side of things rather than, the details and what actually matters and, what's in the pudding. So I think Matt kind of nailed it there and talked about all those, those details that are important to drive offense.
And on the topic of advanced analytics, how much do you pay attention to that? It's a newer thing around hockey where, there's more stats available than ever. How much attention do you pay to that? Or is it more so just stick to systems, stick to what you know? Or is it a blend of both?
No, we'll look at it a little bit. Kind of going back to the Nashville stuff, you see how many video guys and analysts they have there. Obviously, we don't have that luxury or the time to, but it's definitely something that we look at. I don't know if we get right down into the nitty gritty of things, but we definitely pay attention, and I think it paints a picture for sure.
And what are your thoughts on that? Because it seems to be kind of a debate in the hockey world where, some guys are super focused on the data-driven side and other guys are more so of a system side, just go out and play a certain style. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think you can combine the two. There's definitely benefits to having the analytics side of things just to see how, lines match up, who meshes with who, face-off analytics, all that kind of good stuff. So obviously the eye test is one thing, and then you have your analytics too. And I think if you can, find a good system to combine the two, it's very beneficial.
On to the next question. Jared Youngman, the president, asks, you mentioned a number of players that have worn a letter. Any thoughts on who will wear letters for this season?
We have some thoughts. I think it's something that I'm not a big believer of naming a captain and assistants before guys even show up. Have an idea of some guys that could fill those roles, but I like to get the players involved as well. So time will tell, but we've got some ideas.
I like those ideas. Time will tell. Amy asks, what goes into how you decide which players get scratched for that night besides them being injured? So come game day, what kind of goes into your decision process as a coaching staff as to who might play that night?
It's a good question. It's a little bit different night. Like some nights, obviously in this league, you have 3 and 3s or 4 and 5s, and some guys might just be not injured, but banged up, or some might be matchup related. If it's a bigger team that you want a little more size or physicality in the lineup. Some of it's just, a lot of it is play. Like if guys had a tough night or have strung together a couple or made some kind of lazy mistakes, whatever it may be. Sometimes you just want some fresh legs in the lineup. So there's a variety of different factors. It's never fun scratching anyone. Obviously we remember when we played how competitive you are and you want to be in the lineup, but that's part of the business, sort of as everyone else. So I think as long as you're honest with the players, no one's going to be happy they're scratched, but it's good to have that honest relationship where they understand where you're coming from. They may not agree, but have that open dialogue. And but a lot of it is just down to performance.
And I'll ask this next one to both of you because it seems like it's become a recurring theme talking to the guys coming out of college here in the player signing show. A lot of them talk about how it's going to be a lot different for them managing their workload over a 72-game schedule. So kind of playing into this last question that was asked here, is there a bit of a load management type situation with those kind of guys to kind of help them ease into that 72-game schedule, learn how to take care of their bodies over that prolonged period of time? How do you as a coaching staff, and I guess you as being a player, a skater, as you were a goaltender, how does that go into your decision process as to when or when not to play these kind of guys?
I'm not a big believer in the load management stuff. I mean, guys coming from college, I know they play less games, but they also practice more and are in the gym more. But our thing is we want to put a team out that gives us the best chance to win every night. That's the bottom line. And so some guys may just outperform others and get more of an opportunity. Some guys might go down the depth chart. It's always changing, but from a load management perspective, not really. Obviously, if guys are banged up, that's different. But yeah.
And is there something as a coaching staff and with Nick, the trainer, that you guys do to help these college players kind of ease into that workload, as maybe not as much as a load management type of thing, but maybe as training, practicing, and what you put into their schedule?
I think they're actually really well prepared other than the amount of games they play in a college season. Like these guys are in the gym 4 days a week, mid-season. So, they're coming out of there as men already. So I think they're pretty prepared. For us, we can obviously, put ourselves in their shoes because we were there at one point in our careers. Right. So, if they need advice, helping hand in certain situations, or how to prep properly, or kind of just get into a mindset of it's a long season. We're here to help. Nick's obviously more on the body side of things, so he's there to help them as well. But I mean, they're coming out of there versus major junior, where you're not getting that physical in gym exposure as much. I think these guys are set up pretty all right for pro hockey.
Yeah, I would say so, but it just seemed like that was a very common answer when asked, what do you think is going to be the biggest adjustment? Almost every single guy said the 72-game schedule. So thank you guys for your insight on that. And kind of tying into that, Karen asks, how do you approach balancing veterans with younger players coming in? Maybe so if a young guy comes in and he just lights the lamp, is playing hot, how do you manage that from a coaching perspective?
I don't put a lot into like veterans or youngsters. Like I said, it's whoever gives us the best chance to win will get those opportunities. I think it's hugely important to have a good veteran leadership that makes the young guys feel a part of the team right away and feel comfortable. I think that kind of dynamic has changed in the last little while, and even the NHL too, where younger guys go in and are able to be themselves right away. I know when I was a younger guy, you're a little nervous to speak up at times, but I think guys now are comfortable doing that, and that's the environment we want to bring to. I think we have a great veteran leadership group, and it's only growing. I think we've added some good pieces to that as well, and some young guys that are hungry. I mean, I think you put a lot on those guys to bring that youthful energy day out on practice, and the veterans as well. I think it makes them feel a little bit younger too, and the group's high energy, and you want to have fun at the rink and get your work done. So I think both are very important, and yeah, should be good.
We always talk about players emulating players or looking up to players. Fuzzy asks, do you have a coach that you want to emulate? Or was there a coach that you saw and like, hey, I really like what that guy does, maybe model your style after him?
No, I wouldn't say emulate. I think you take things from, coaches as you're a player. You kind of take away aspects that you like and what you don't like. I think you need to be your own person, stay true to who you are. And, you can't shy away from that. And I think that's what makes, coaches that I've enjoyed so great, is because they don't try to put on this persona of somebody that they're not, and they're trying to be, who knows. So I think that's just when it comes to that side of things, emulating, not so much. Taking things, definitely.
Speaking of Nick Nelson, looks like he's in the chat right now. Says, what's up, boys? How is pro camp with Nashville? We touched on that before. Any big takeaways? We kind of did touch on that before. So I'll kind of change this question a little bit. Sorry, Nick. What was it like spending that time up in Nashville with Nick and kind of just gelling as a staff?
Well, I was gonna say, actually, if that was the Nick, we all drove down together, and we were unfortunately saddled with him. He was in the back seat, but no, he was a great guy. That was the first time we've really got to know him a little bit. Obviously, we've exchanged texts and calls and all that, and I think we're hugely lucky to have him. And then at camp, he was a big dog. He was with the staff, and I think we saw him the first night we got there at a little sports bar, and then didn't see him really until we picked him up to leave on Monday. But no, it was great. Like I said earlier, they do a great job getting us involved, and obviously they did with Nick as well. And he came in very, very highly recommended from the Nashville group. So we knew we were getting a great trainer and great person, and looking forward to working with him this year.
Did you guys get out to Broadway at all?
We did.
Yeah. How was that over there?
Awesome. It's a great spot. It's very lively. So
I experienced it for the first time myself. It is great. I kind of like to think of it as Vegas, but without the gambling, but instead live music.
Yeah, we had a chaperone there, the two Milwaukee assistant coaches. They've been going for years, so they knew the ropes and the spots to bring us, and yeah, it was a good time.
Sounds like fun. Karen asks, what role do you expect younger players like Connor Galloway to play in as they head into year 2? So you've got some youngsters on the team that have a little taste of ECHL hockey under their belt, pro hockey. What do you expect out of these guys in year 2, and how do you manage that from a coaching perspective?
I think mostly just take another step. You look at some guys, which I don't think will have this problem just with the type of guys we have, but after their first year, they think it's going to be easy. And you hear about the sophomore slump and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's important for those guys to just have more confidence in themselves, want a bigger role, want to take that next step, but realize it's not going to be easy. You have lots of guys who are coming in, pushing for those jobs and pushing for bigger opportunities on the team. So yeah, I think just that hunger to push for more and make our decisions tough and be more comfortable in the league, more confident. And I think the first year, if you're a young guy, you might just try and chip pucks out or get pucks off your stick, like have that confidence to make plays and really influence the game however best you can, with whether you're a grinder, a goal scorer, a physical guy, whatever it may be, play to your strengths and just take that next step.
Zach, I've seen some people in the chat commenting about your tattoo. What is your tattoo of, and does it have any significance behind it, or?
Just it's an Indigenous headdress. So I've got Indigenous roots back in Canada. So I kind of, on this side of it, wanted to incorporate that going into the Rocky Mountains where I live. And yeah, so that's a little background on that.
It looks really nice. Where are you from?
I'm from just outside of Calgary, Alberta. So it's a town called Cochrane. It's just in between Calgary and Banff. So nice area.
Grew up watching Flames games then, or?
I did. Big Jerome McGinley fan.
All right. Good to know. Stadium Arena. I'm sure he was itching to ask that one. Now you know. Calgary Flames. Jerome McGinley. Joe Mama asks, favorite ways to get to know new players?
It's a funny name.
Long-time viewer.
I think you just need to, connect with them on a personal standpoint. Like I get it's like it's pro sports, but you need to, kind of break those barriers down. Like I don't want a guy to be all serious with me all the time. Like I want to get to know them, and ask them those personal questions, because I think that's important. Because then, they kind of let a wall down. They kind of take that weight off of their shoulders, and then they can be the best version of themselves out on the ice.
Casey Reynolds asks, is it more risky going with 2 AHL goalies versus having one dedicated and one brought down, like the situation you had last year?
No, I think it depends on the year. Sometimes both guys are up all year. Sometimes on the flip side, you might have an ECHL contract guy who gets called up and stays up there too. So it's just luck of the draw. Like I said, I think we brought, obviously we'll get 2 great goalies, and we have 2 great ones coming to camp too that have shown that they can play at this level and play at a high level. So I think we've covered it this year, and we want to, again, create that competition for jobs and give ourselves the best chance to win every night.
Jared Youngman asks, any pregame rituals as a coach?
You can go first.
No, I don't really have any pregame rituals. Yeah, nothing that I can think of. I think I just like to keep it pretty relaxed for the most part before the game, because I think I get sometimes pretty emotional during. So I think that's just the best way for me to regulate my emotions. So nothing that I can think of that's considered a ritual, but yeah, I tend to keep it pretty laid back.
I actually am a pregame nap guy now.
Okay.
I wasn't really when I played, but it's tiring coaching, especially like mentally. I think after a long weekend, you're like, whew. So yeah, I try and get just a quick little nap, and obviously we have the video stuff and all that we want to do in the pre-scout beforehand, so that kind of ties into it. But yeah, same kind of thing. Just relax and know that you're prepared and have put yourselves and the team in the best possible position to win that night.
Superstitious as a coach at all? Maybe same tie after a win?
Not for me.
No?
No, not really.
Superstitious as a player?
No, I would
No?
just put my gear on a certain way, but that was really it.
Just a little stitious.
Just a little stitious.
Yeah.
Seems to be common. J9 asks, as a coach, how do you pass the time on the bus?
Good question. Depends on the trip. If there's like we'll do video on the bus, whether if it's say you're leaving post game driving somewhere else, we'll take that time to do some video, whether it's pre-scout or our last game. And other than that, I just kind of either watch a show, listen to music, try and have a little nap, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it just obviously depends on your schedule, because if you have back-to-backs, you're typically working or whatever the deal may be. But I'm a big napper on the bus, guys, so that's when I take my time to get some shut-eye.
A lot of road trips this season, a lot of fun to be had, a lot of times for video, reading, napping, and the like. Jared Youngman asks, will we see any sticks or water bottles thrown on the ice? And could that culprit be Fenfellis, the alias of Ben Ellis?
Hopefully not. Obviously, yeah. Try not to get worked up. Obviously, it happens sometimes in the heat of the moment. I don't know, sticks or water bottles, but no, try and keep your cool on the bench. I mean, players always feed off the coach, so you want to stay calm. And it's obviously the competitive spirit in you. Sometimes you're not happy with calls and feel like you have to talk to the ref. And but I think it's important to not waste energy on officials or things out of your control, because like I said, I think players feed off that. I know back to my playoff days, if coach is yelling, you're probably yelling as well. So keep the guys focused on what we can control and go from there. But you never know.
How do you stay calm behind the bench, especially, maybe the ref makes a call you don't necessarily agree with? How do you keep that level head? How do you keep your cool?
You want this
one? I think I'm still navigating that, not in a bad way, but it's just, when to pick your spots, essentially. I think I just get so, into the game itself that sometimes I noticed last year, especially, that I might have, unintentionally been too vocal at times, not towards players, but more to the uncontrollables, like the refs, especially in the league I played in last year. So, but yeah, I think it's, it's something that you just constantly remind yourself, because like Matt said, players feed off your energy, and I think that's really important. So, control what you can control.
All right, just a few more questions here before we wrap this one up. Amy asks, Matt, are you going to encourage your daughter to play hockey?
We'll see if she wants to. We'll try and probably get her on the ice soon. She's crawling everywhere right now, kind of assisted-ish walking. So we'll see when that time comes. But I know I'm excited to have her at the rink this year more, where she kind of knows what's going on. But yeah, it'll be fun to see her out there, and probably try her on the ice here shortly.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Goalie, maybe?
Definitely
taking after
not.
dad? No?
Definitely not.
So crawling, skating, then walking.
Yeah.
I like it. Alex Hobbs asks, Zach, what's going to be the toughest thing going from a player to a coach? You've got a few years of coaching experience under your belt right now, but what has helped you the most in that transition, and what has been the toughest thing so far?
I think just naturally the competitive nature. That's definitely the toughest part of, especially in game. That's the toughest transition, I'd say, is just you almost want to be out there because you're just so competitive. But it's been a good transition for me so far. I think if it wasn't, if it was if I went out other ways and, you know, had to retire differently, then maybe that would have, you know, changed my mindset on things. But I'm grateful for the, you know, position that I'm in. And, you know, it's just another opportunity to climb the ladder and learn as much as possible. So I'm just continuing to, you know, do that day by day, stay in the present, and, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Last question comes from Harley. What was your number while playing? Start over here and then work our way to this side.
I wore a bunch. I probably wore number 1 the longest. I actually wore 90 one year in Atlanta because I was in Boston camp that year, and usually the higher up your number is, the less chance you have to make the team. So I was number 90, and the equipment guy in Atlanta at the time thought I wanted that, or I chose that number. So I came down and he said, I did you a solid and got you number 90. I said, oh, okay, cool. But and then I was 35 in university.
Yeah, I was favorite number growing up was number 12, but that seemed to have been taken most of the time. So once I got to, you know, midget hockey and into juniors and stuff, that had to change. So I stuck with 4 for the most part, and then had a couple numbers in pro. I think it was 26, 8, and then last year when I strapped them on for a little bit, I was 14. So.
Well, guys, we are all out of time, but thank you so much for joining me here tonight. Really looking forward to training camp and the upcoming season, October 18th. Not too far away.
Nope, we're looking forward to it.
Thanks,
guys.
Thanks.
That'll do it for this episode of the Coaches Show presented by Lippes Mathias. Make sure you stay tuned on our social media channels for the latest edition of our YouTube shows and for other content as well. Make sure you give us a follow. Check it all out. Our social media team is fantastic. Follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, right here on YouTube. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and we will be back for another episode sometime in the near future. Keep your eyes peeled. Stay tuned. I'm Guy Carenza saying good night and so long for Matt Ginn and Zach Vinnell. We'll see you back again here next time.